All right, guys, welcome to the Digital Barbell podcast. Thank you so much, as always, for being here. We greatly appreciate it. We've got a special episode for you today. We have an interview with our client, Claire. She actually works with Coach Haley, and she's awesome. I think you're really going to like this episode. You'll find out in the intro that she actually found us through some of our endeavors in camping. She used to live with her husband full-time in their RV, and now she trains at home in Utah. But anyway...
And we found out they have the exact dogs we have. She was talking about her dogs and how they liked the couple years that they were
Crazy.
in their trailer. She's like, we have an Australian cattle dog and a Chiweenie. I was like, literally, those are the two dogs we have.
What are the chances?
What are the chances?
Quick sponsor for this episode.
Oh.
We're sponsored by Tweezers.
What?
You weren't expecting that one, were you? Let me just tell you a quick story. We got back from our trip. The weeds and all the flower beds were just completely out of control. So I spent some time pulling weeds in the flower beds. And our flower beds are covered with things that aren't flowers. They're actually covered with
flower beds. They're
cactuses and agave and these giant, like really spiky things. Anyway, I just kept stabbing my fingers as I was trying to pull these weeds from in between them. And one of them ended up leaving a splinter under my skin. And it made me start thinking as I was using tweezers to dig this thing out underneath my skin, just kind of how like when you're on like your health journey, hang with me for a second. Like it's easy to kind of ignore the things that are holding us back, but the longer that we ignore them, it's like a splinter that's getting buried underneath our skin. And we can leave it alone for a while, but really at the time that we're ignoring it, it's getting worse, even if we are ignoring it.
Actually, we were on a walk and you were like, this thing's really bothering me. I was like, if you just leave it alone, it'll eventually fall out.
Yeah, my finger would eventually fall out. But anyway, if I would have left that thing in there a couple more days, it would have been fully entrenched underneath the skin. And I probably would have had to bring in like some excavation tools to get this thing out. And then it really would have hurt. The point is, like, when you have these little splinters in your life that you're ignoring, they're not going to get better by ignoring them. Grab your tweezers, pull it out while there's still something to grab onto, and your life's going to be easier.
Are we on an episode of Monday Motivation right now?
I'm here to bring it. I'm pretty sure I've written an email on this subject when
gosh.
I've had a splinter in the past.
Poor Jonathan.
Send thoughts and prayers for my splinter. All right, but we got to move on because we got to talk about full body remodel before we get into this interview.
Yes, we're releasing Full Body Remodel 2.0. And now 2.0 it's just because it has been refreshed. I originally wrote the workouts for like what has been Full Body Remodel back in like 2020. Mm-hmm. So I was like, they're old. It's time to refresh this program. So that's why it's 2.0, new and improved. I have been doing Full Body Remodel. The week before we left for our month-long camping adventure, I was like, okay, we're going to be on the road. I'm going to figure out what I'm going to do. I'm going to do Full Body Remodel. I was able to successfully do this workout program for a month with my dumbbells and my bands.
Yeah.
It's fantastic. And I feel like I was able to keep up my fitness, So,
and this program also is written so it can be done by more advanced people with barbells too, but it can be done with just dumbbells and bands too.
It's a very versatile program. So Full Body Remodel, it's a full body workout program. You're going to get your strength building exercises. You're going to get your bodybuilding exercises, and you're going to get some conditioning. It's 4 days a week, 8 weeks. Every workout has been taking less than an hour. Mm-hmm. So that's another good point. It's not something that's going to take you a super long time in the gym, especially if you're using dumbbells. You can probably get these done closer to like that 45 to 50 minute time range.
Do we already say when the program starts?
This is no joke. April Fool's Day.
Ain't no fooling.
April Fool's Day, we're launching this program. It's we have two versions of it, two options. You can do it just like get the workouts, get the digital barbell experience. You're going to get the workouts in True Coach. You're going to be able to log your results, look back and see what you've done without a coach for $147 for all 8 weeks. Or if you want a very valuable digital barbell coach to help you through the program, to do your form checks, that's going to be $297
for all 8 weeks. You're going to get coached for 2 months straight.
Yep.
I think the important thing to think about with this program is, look, summer is coming, and if you have not started yet on your get in shape for summer plan, like you are running out of time.
We've had a lot of people contact us like, which version should I do? And ended up doing like the coached version. And I think that they've been really happy with it. We have one girl I've worked with has done like 2 different programs now with the coached version. And just the benefit is having like maybe you've done a ton of workout programs or different things throughout your workout career, and you're just like, I don't know. I've never really had a coach like watch my form or anything like that. That's where it like becomes so valuable. A coach can see like, okay, let's make these tweaks here, and they can also tell you like, okay, I think you can like go up and weight there, or all the alternative like, okay, we're going a little bit too heavy. Let's dial in the form, and then we're really going to make some progress. Like just all kinds of things of having someone get some eyes on you for
Yeah.
8 weeks, and you can really carry that forevermore once you like go through all these movements with a coach watching.
Yeah. Somewhere on the webpage, I think, is the tagline, like, make more progress in the next 8 weeks than you have in the last 8 years. And that sounds kind of ridiculous to say, but it's probably true. Like, if you've just been going through the motions and jumping from thing to thing, and like, if you're honest with yourself, you look back and you're like, I don't really look a whole lot different. I don't know that I'm a whole lot stronger. That's going to change in just 8 weeks with full body remodel.
And another thing I'm going to put out there, I don't think you've ever done a workout program like this. I really do think it's something that's different than what other workout programs that you're going to find.
Yeah.
I've looked around at what's out there, and this is different.
Yeah, love it. All right, anything else you want to get to before this interview?
I was going to say we're back in our office gymatorium area, and the one thing that I'm like, what I miss on the road, I was going to ask you what you missed about being on the road. I miss not well water.
Yeah.
I am struggle busting like 5 days in or 4 days into being here. Like, I'm like, my hair feels disgusting. Like we got a full month of like, yeah, you're in RV parks, you're doing, but you're not using well water. And
Right.
man, I'm like, wow, well water is so damaging.
It's garbage.
It's so
It's garbage water. What's the thing I missed the most?
Yeah.
This is something we were talking about when we were walking the dogs the other day was, because we're still trying to decide, like, what are we going to do? And it just kind of occurred to me that the day that we had just played out, doing all of our work, doing stuff around the house, walking the dogs, and what was going to transpire in the evening, like, it just kind of occurred to me, I've lived that day, over 1,000 times in the 3 years that we've been living here. And I'm not saying like that necessarily as a bad thing, but one thing I missed about being on the road was that even though we still have a routine and our work to do and everything that goes along with that, it was different from the other 1,000 days that I've lived out here. And there's something exciting about that. And I'm not trying to glamorize it as if like, everything would be perfect or everything was perfect in the road. I think people that listen to this podcast know for a fact everything was not perfect while we were gone, but anyway, just something on my mind. And I missed the break in the routine for sure.
All right, cool.
All right, well, let's get into this interview with Claire. I know you guys are going to love it. All right, today's guest is a retired nurse who claims that the best snow on earth can be found in her home state of Utah, and she intends on staying strong and capable enough to enjoy it. So welcome to your episode of 5 Minutes with Claire.
Hi, guys. Great to be here.
Did I get that quote right, that you guys have the best snow in the world out there in Utah?
Yes, you did. Yes, you did. It's absolutely the best. And in fact, my husband and his brother-in-law are headed up to a resort that's not very far from us this morning. So it's
Very
a
cool.
beautiful day out, and it should be a good day for them.
What city are you actually in?
We're in northern Utah. It's about an hour and a half north of Salt Lake, right near the Idaho border.
Okay.
In a town called Logan.
Oh,
Okay.
Yes. We've been through there many times.
Yeah,
Have you been through Logan?
we used to drive from, we lived in Houston, then we moved to Idaho to Boise. And so we've done that drive probably like 12 times,
Have
going
you
back
really?
and forth.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. I go
3 days each direction.
Utah is like, when the first time we went, I'm just like blown away by
Yeah.
Utah. It is some of the most spectacular scenery. I could drive for like hours in there and just be like, wow,
Yeah.
wow.
Yeah.
It's like
pretty
nothing else.
incredible.
Yeah, I love it up
Which
there.
kind of what I picture the moon looking like, all those
Like some of the
formations and
parts.
stuff.
Yeah.
Well, why don't we just start by asking you how you found us and kind of a little bit. We'll get into your history a little bit. But do you remember how you found us? I remember, but let's see if you remember.
I sure remember. Okay. So about a year ago, probably a little more than that now, we were still full-time in our RV. And I had just started a program with online coaching with Iron Fitness. It was one of those 8-week challenges that seemed doable. And I think it probably was in February or March sometime, or that you did an interview with Chris and Aaron.
Mhm.
And I was just like, wow, I know these people and Chris and Aaron anyways. And so I think that was my first introduction to Digital Barbell. And
what was the training program like that you did with them? Because we have a lot of
um,
respect for what they're doing too.
yeah, they have a great program, resistance bands. And
Hmm.
Mm.
so we had prior to moving into the RV full time, which was in April of 2022, we had spent about 4 months with a coach here in Logan at his training facility. And we had gotten rid of all of our property. So we had time to focus on ourselves and our fitness. And so we bought a rower that we could break apart, loaded it into the truck, and we had a big bed in the back of our truck, along with I think we had adjustable dumbbells at that time, and then we had bands.
Hmm.
Okay.
So that's what we hit the road with. And
Wow.
that's what we were using. And, it wasn't a lot, but it was
Yeah.
enough to get started.
It's cool that you were able to figure out a way to bring the rower. That's something
Hmm.
we've talked about is like we have, a rower or the walking pad or a assault
Uh-huh.
bike. I'm like, okay, we could like switch between the three, one day pick up the rower, one day drop it off, switch it out for the assault bike. That's really cool that you guys immediately figured out a way to bring
Yeah.
some
And I
equipment. It
think
shows,
that was the reason why, because we could break it apart in two
yeah.
pieces. It's a really high quality rower.
Did
And
you find yourself using it, like
oh,
bringing it out? Okay.
well, when we were if we were in a place for 3 or 4 days or at
Hmm.
least two or three nights, we had to
Hmm.
be, make it worth our while.
Yeah.
Rather than, haul that thing out. And so it worked out
That's
really well.
cool. I know what that's like though. You kind of stand out in like an RV park, especially because, you're like, oh, what are they doing? Aren't you on vacation
Yeah.
here? Like, why are they out there,
It's
exercising?
it's true. You just don't see people exercising in RV parks or out and
Yeah.
about. Yeah. Yeah.
Well, you're in a house now, which tells us that you eventually gave up that full-time RV lifestyle. What were some of the main things that you liked about it, and why did you decide to transition back to a house?
Well, we really love the mobility, and initially it was like so freeing not to own property.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Wow, we're a house on wheels. We can do everything from this RV, and it was really fun and very exciting. And but I think one of the things, we have two dogs. We travel with two dogs. They're not big dogs, but one's an Australian cattle dog. And he did adapt.
Hmm.
He's a great dog, but it was a little bit tough because he requires a lot of exercise.
Hmm.
And the other one's a Chiweenie, and she was great.
This is
That's
exactly what we
exactly the
have.
two dogs we
Is that
have.
what I thought your
We
dogs
have
were
a
really
Chiweenie and Australian cattle dog. That is so funny.
very
Yeah.
close to what we have. That's really interesting. So it was great, but I think that some of those are some of the best parts, so that we were
Hmm.
able to be on the road. And when we were in the West, there's lots of BLM land, and you can get away from people. And our trailer has got a lot of solar. We added solar to it, so we could be out for a week to 10 days and do that sort of thing. But then as we headed, once we got into Texas and got through Texas, those lands are not available.
Hmm.
And
Yeah.
we were really confined to RV parks because it's so difficult to get into state,
Hmm.
parks.
Hmm.
You have to have, we just don't plan that far ahead.
Yeah.
We can
Oh my
identify with that.
yeah, that's what I thought, when I listened to your other podcast. And I think, trying to plan ahead and at least planning a trip and where you're going to stay the next few days is really time consuming. I
Hmm.
spent a
Hmm.
lot of time doing that.
Yeah.
So, and I felt, we spent our summers in Michigan. I have family there. That's where I'm from originally. And those were wonderful. We had a great setup when we were there, and we had a lot of room and freedom, and we could get about real easily. But I think it was a little too sedentary
Hmm.
as
Hmm.
a lifestyle. Um, so we felt like it was time to get a
Yeah.
house again. So
Yeah.
here
Interesting.
we
Yeah.
are.
All things
Yeah.
that we're thinking about. So we really appreciate your perspective on
Yeah,
that.
definitely.
Yeah, you
Um,
bet.
All right, so that lifestyle was a little bit too sedentary. Let's rewind and talk about kind of your past. You told us one
Okay.
time, or maybe I remember seeing in your questionnaire, that you used to actually be into horse riding. Talk about that
Yes,
a little
yes,
bit.
that's all been in my entire life, up until just recently. And I grew, growing up in Michigan, and I was on a farm, and I had horses. We grew up with horses, my siblings and I, and then my father, who was, I think, really ahead of his time, back then, he got us all into judo, at a
Hmm.
very young age. And so I did that, as I grew up doing that. And he also incorporated some weight training. So that was my first exposure, when I was a little kid. And
Wow.
he had us out running in the morning before school, and we were doing cold plunges long
Oh my
before
gosh.
that was a thing,
I
in
love
the
That's
it.
so funny.
60s. He just had his own, this is how he was going to do it. And fortunately, we didn't think it was a great idea at the time, you know, and but I think that all of that kind of carried through my entire life.
Hmm.
And I didn't stay with judo, as I got older, but all that training and just being physical, I think that has really helped me over the years. And weight training, really, this is kind of a new thing for me, um, to this level. I've never
Hmm.
done it before.
Wow.
So
So what would you say, like when you found us, you started looking at what we're all about, and you realized what we do? What was kind of your overall goal when you joined Digital Barbell?
I wanted I knew I was losing muscle mass. I knew I wasn't staying up with that. Both my husband and I are really aware of that. And we just, once we got this house, and that had been we'd been thinking about this, we're going to have a gym in our house. We're going to
Mhm.
just set it up. We are just going to hit this hard. And so I wanted to increase my strength and
Mhm.
keep my mobility, improve that, because it's amazing how quickly it goes.
Hmm.
Um, so yeah, I wanted to learn more about strength training. And I remember asking you, hey, do you work with people my age, you know, nearly 70? And I just wanted to make sure it was a good fit. And
Mhm.
you reassured me that, oh yeah, we have a lot of clients that are your
Mhm.
age, older.
Hmm.
And so
Yep.
that was
Yeah,
that.
I think it's we could probably do a better job talking about that
Yeah.
actually. But each, like, out of the three coaches in this company, we each have clients over 60 and over 70. So like we're all, you know, staying up with what it takes to help your demographic, and we really feel like it's super important. And if we're being honest, you guys are our most consistent clients,
Mhm.
which makes you guys the most fun to work with, really, because you're getting so much out of it that it's motivating you, I feel like, to want to stay consistent with it. And
Mhm.
it seems like you guys
Uh-huh.
really value the coaching side of it too. So it's super beneficial from our perspective too.
Yes.
The
How did you know, like what were some of the things you were noticing that showed you were losing strength before you started with us?
Gosh, well, I mean, just take a basic squat, and lifting over my head, especially with the being in the trailer, or, loading stuff into the back of the trailer.
Mhm.
Mm,
That takes a certain amount of strength. And I just knew I needed to be, and I've always felt like my upper body was pretty weak.
Mhm.
And I was physical. I could walk, I can hike, my legs were definitely stronger. So I just, well, and all the research out
hmm.
there
Yeah.
Yeah.
Mhm.
just talks about it. I think I mean, it's there, and it's happening. It's happening.
Rumor has it, or I'll just spill the beans. Your coach told us, Haley told us that you're lifting 20-pound dumbbells over your head now. How does that feel?
It's hard. It's hard. I don't, but it's interesting. I thought I always had to have someone standing over me,
Mhm.
but it's interesting how doing online coaching, she has slowly increased everything, and I have never hurt myself. I never feel sore. And I think she's really done it the right way.
Mhm.
And I just, some days, I kind of procrastinate going down, but as soon as I walk down those stairs, I'm in that room,
Mhm.
it all happens. I turn on
Yeah.
the
Yeah.
music, and I just love it. And she has really, my strength, I can feel it. It's really increased.
That's
And I'm
fantastic.
forever
Yeah.
grateful. And one thing I remember in the beginning, I have to video
Mhm.
tape a lot of my workouts, and I'm going, when is this going to end? I always do this. But
Yeah.
now I can see the benefit of it. I see
Mhm.
that that's such an important part of this program.
Yeah.
I like the fact that she looks at those and she comments, what I need to improve or change or to get it
Mhm.
right. So yeah, I really appreciate that part of your online coaching.
Oh, that's good. That's really good to hear because I know it can be, especially in the beginning, it's like it's not comfortable to do. You don't really want to video yourself
Yeah.
and you feel like it takes a little bit of time, but you're so right. It is the best way. Like even if you've done the movement, 20 times
Uh-huh.
by now, it's like there's still little things your coach can
Right.
catch me like, "Oh, it's time to move up and wait." You're like you're moving that way too easy, You can see these little intricate things that you can't really get from just like a comment on the screen.
Hmm.
That's
Yeah.
great.
That's
You,
true. And you guys have, and so I must look at, there's videos with all of my workouts, right?
Uh-huh.
Program and in True Coach. So I must watch your videos. A lot of times I'll refer back to those and,
Yeah.
hey, here's how they're doing it, and
Mhm.
it really works.
Good. I'm
that was
so
some
glad to hear that.
that was something that was really important to us when we started this company was like actually through True Coach, they give you the option just to use a library of demo videos that are already populated into True Coach.
Uh-huh.
But
Yeah.
we felt it was really important to record ourselves for all these video demos. So
Yeah, we just like turn that feature off. I'm like, I don't want anybody else's videos. Like, I want it to be,
mhm.
making sure that it's us demonstrating the movements and with our, training methodologies and
Yeah.
everything. Yeah.
And it makes you
Yeah.
feel like we're right there with you.
Yeah,
Yes, you cannot escape.
exactly.
So how has the strength that you've built and maintained since you've been working with Haley kind of translated into your regular life? I think that's what we're in this
Um,
for, right?
yeah, I just, just everyday things. It's mental as well as physical. I feel so
Mm.
positive about, if I don't do anything else in a day, at least I've gotten my workout in. And that's always been the case for me when I haven't worked out or haven't done something on a regular basis. It always is a kind of a negative inside me. And
Hmm.
so I think it's as much mental as it is physically. And of course, I feel really, really good, really strong now. And I'm looking forward to just increasing that. But it's very positive thing for me to do.
That's
That's
awesome.
awesome.
If you
Yeah,
listen
I
to any
think,
of our episodes, we're always talking about the
yeah,
benefit of doing hard things and how that translates over to the mental
Yeah, to the
toughness,
mental
anything you
side.
have to tackle in
it
life.
is.
Exactly.
Yeah, I think it's the best investment that I've ever done for myself.
That's awesome.
That's awesome.
So you mentioned that this was something that your husband wanted to do too. Like, is this something you guys now share as an experience of,
Yeah,
getting strong together?
huh? We really do. And we've done so many things together. We did the RV life together, and he and I both had horses at different times in our lives. And he's worked out for many years and kind of got off the wagon when we were doing horses so regularly. So he's done a lot more strength training and has his own thing going. I keep pushing him. I said, "Come on, you got to get in the digital
It's all right.
barbell." So we're on this together, and we work out sometimes the same time. But if I'm recording, he's kind of stays out of the way. And
Yeah.
but yeah, we're our best cheerleaders.
That's
Absolutely,
great.
Yeah,
yeah.
that's awesome.
Yeah.
Setting an example for each other and just knowing that if you don't get out there, he'll probably think like, huh, I wonder if she's going to work out today or
Yeah.
vice versa.
Or it's
Yeah,
a
it's
race to
really
get to
cool.
the gym.
Oh, that's
Yeah.
awesome. Well, the way I like to wrap these interviews up is really just to ask somebody that's listening to this right now is in your shoes where you were before you started with us. And whether they work with us or not, what do you say to that person who is thinking about prioritizing their strength, their fitness, their health, but they're not like sure to jump in or not? What do you tell that person?
You just, don't wait. I mean, you just got to do it. And I think just making that first step um, towards it, and it doesn't have to be in huge increments, just slowly. But I think a coach is huge if you haven't got a lot of training. I think it's really important to hook up with someone. Um, and they'll never regret it. And I think, at this, I have hopefully many years left, but
Mhm.
I'm on the other side, I'm in the last, I've got to, if I don't lose it or use it, I'm going to lose it for
Mhm.
sure. So man, I encourage everyone and hopefully, you know, amongst my friends and people that I know, I can lead by example. You really can't. People have to find their own way.
Right.
But yeah, I think it's a great thing to do for yourself.
That's
Yeah,
great.
that's a great point. Like, as much as you want everybody in your life to get the benefit that you're getting out of improving your health and stuff, people have to come to their own realization.
Yeah.
Like I'm the one who has to do the work.
Yeah.
But you're doing the right thing
Right.
by setting the example.
For sure.
Well, we truly hope that, like, all the work that you're putting in is just spilling over into more capacity and just be able to enjoy your life, with
Yeah.
the newfound strength that you have. So
Yes.
it makes us feel good.
Yep. Yeah, you guys have been great, and I'm so happy that I found you and that it's to be part of this whole group.
Well, we know we speak for Haley in saying that she loves working with you and she's super proud of the progress that you've made too. So
Yeah.
Definitely.
Well, she's a great coach, and yeah, I'm happy that she's helping me out.
we agree.
Good.
We'll keep her.
Yeah.
All right, Claire. Well, thanks so much for your time and for doing this.
Okay. Thank you guys. Great to see you
All
both.
right. Talk to you later.
Okay. Bye-bye.